files. And also they would have defense and doctor and all that stuff.
I want to take it back to your time with the currency exchange project, and then after that, I definitely want to get to Omar John, because I know he's done some really interesting stuff when he worked with the DEA. But when you guys were doing that, how did you guys get rid of the old currency?
It's a funny story. The beginning of the process, we actually started. We thought, okay, we are going to go ahead and drill the money. So we actually asked a few carpenters to make empty blocks. We would put money bundles, and the money would go in there. We'd get a drill. Somebody's gonna get a drill bit and then drill it all the way, and that's it, right? So money is gonna get drilled. Drilled money is money we have received, and the person have already taken new money in exchange for it. But Afghanistan's money, the material actually, it's not. It wasn't actually. It's not easy paper that you can actually drill through. You can drill a couple of them, but when you're drilling a bundle, the bundle shatters. So now you have money that's rotating. It spins around with your drill bit, and it's a chaos. It's everywhere. So that didn't work. Then we thought about burning money. So there was ovens behind the Ministry of Justice in Kabul. So we used to take money there, and then we would try to burn it. Now the burning process, in a few cases, we found out that when they would try to burn this money, the money which is inside the stacks, because the stacks are so big, right? The money that's inside the stack would not burn. And they had no means of somebody actually getting access to the money and then rotating it or shaking it around for it to actually burn thoroughly. They would put gasoline over it, right? But then there was still money that would not burn.
Some leftovers.
Or when the process of them, when they would take the money to burn it and they would toss it inside the oven, there would be somebody behind the oven that would receive that money, okay? And then we have had instances of that. So it didn't work. So that money, received money, I know you're curious, they would take it back to the process and then they would exchange it for new money. So you did not get rid of the money. The money is still in circulation. And then we came up with a way that, okay, let's say we're going to get buckets of ink, okay? You bring in old money, we exchange for new money, we would put it in a bucket of ink, and then we would take it out, so that money is got color on it, like, or bleach on it. It would be a mess. It wouldn't work. The only way that it worked was for us to shred money. So we imported shredders from Germany, the huge shredders. And everything I'm talking about was all during the pilot project. We were doing a pilot project to see what works best. So then we imported shredders from Germany, and that's when it actually worked like seamlessly. So we took these shredders, we send them, of course, in rural areas of Afghanistan, we still had to burn money. We asked them to actually split money into smaller bundles and then toss them in there, not in big stacks. And they would burn, and the entire burning would be videotaped, and it would be for evidences. But in Kabul and main provinces like Mazar-e-Sharif and then let's say Herat and all these main places, we had shredders. And these shredders they would take the money in there. Of course, you have intake staff that they would record how much money came in, and they would take that shred that money. And the new money, of course, whenever it would come in, it would come in military aircrafts, in C-130s, C-130s and C-10s. It would come in, and they would put it on.
So it wasn't printed in Afghanistan?
No, the money was printed in Germany.
Oh, interesting.
Afghanistan did not have the means of actually printing money, or they did not have a printing.
Do you know
machine.
if it's still printed in Germany?
It's not printed in Afghanistan. I know that for a fact.
Oh, wow.
Afghanistan does not have the resources to actually print
Even our
money.
passports are printed by another country.
Passports, I think, are printed in Dubai
Finland?
or Finland somewhere.
I remember because recently I heard one of our family friends, they used to work with the IOM. And the IOM, the political section, they were saying that there's 100,000 books of passports are still available. And the Taliban government right now, they're asking for it. Like, okay, that's basically our right to have our own passports. They didn't give it to them. But I heard there was a rumors that certain families who lives in Afghanistan have connection within the consulates of Afghanistan, around the world. They can go there and they can get the new passport, or you can renew your passports. And they said, well, we don't have it. And there's no legit government anymore, like versus two government. Then the Finland or Germany, but the Germany had the responsibility to deliver that to Afghanistan.
Yep.
So that's why, and they now distributed some of the passports. And I'm sure like 2 years ago, no one was able to get that renewal 2 to 3 years ago. But now, yes, when now you go to like the closest one for us is
Los
Vancouver.
Angeles.
Is it in Canada, right?
It's for us. It's Los Angeles.
No more Los Angeles.
It's not.
No, they closed in Los Angeles. I
The
remember I
consulate?
renewed mine. I had to send it to New York, and the New York office, that was the last batch they processed. Then after that, they said no more. They will go to Canada.
Did they put that new page for you? That sticker?
I believe so. I have it. I don't remember, but
Yeah,
yes.
that's how they renewed it. So they would put a new sticker over where you have your picture. Behind that, they'll just give you a new
Or
sticker.
maybe
and
I
that's it.
have a brand new. I don't. But maybe you're right. Absolutely.
Omar, do you remember if you ever had to go exchange your currency?
No,
You didn't have to do it?
no, because at that time I was in Pakistan.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so I had a little rough childhood.
Okay.
I think since the Taliban came in, we were talking about that. Before we started, we were talking about it. And in Kabul, especially in all over Afghanistan, the schools were very disciplined. You need to have a uniform, short hair, because of, I think they had a concept when you get into a fight with things and it's easy, they can pull your hair. So that in order to stop the mass and everybody doesn't look like big hair, small or short.
Discipline, like the army too. They're kind
Exactly.
of like that.
So there's a very, as long as it's not, you can have it, then that's good to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a little longer, and everybody was used to wear a little turban, like white color especially, or those white hats, or this especially there's a kandori hat they have. It's like a little arch on it. So then you turn it around. But if you wanted to show your hair, you can just bring this. Otherwise, you turn it around, and you cover everything.
I know which ones you're talking about. I had one growing up as a kid.
Bro, remember you wore one in Davis? It was so beautiful. It was like golden. We made a video in it.
Oh, are you talking about the ones that Awais brought us?
No. Those are the pacols. You had another one, and then I remember someone told me like, why did you let Noori wear it? And I was like, no, that looks really good.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember now. Yeah, I forgot about that. But go ahead.
No, then at that day, before something happened to me in school, I told my father, they said, I'm not going to school today because if I go there, they're going to cut my hair. I said, no, you're not typical Afghan father. I said, no, nothing happened. Everything is fine. I said, okay. I went to school. Our principal came in. I remember my principal. He had a long hair too, but he was used to cover it with the turban. So no problem for him. And he came in and around the class walking around and cutting everyone's hair. But they used to cut so precise, go down like there's no way, you have to shave it. So he went all around the class. I said, thank God I'm safe. Next thing you know, a big scissor came in right on this side, and they cut it. And, you have no choice. And then I had to go and shave that. And now still I don't proper balance, I believe so. That's I have it from there. But going back to your question about this, the money thing and stuff, I remember my father's exchange, but later on I remember because we used to work. We didn't know each other, but the same project we were working. Especially about the embezzlement and corruption, and especially the narcotics was a huge thing about it. And that was a perfect timing for them to do a launder money. You have a money, there's no proof on it, but you bring it and you got a brand new money. Yeah. Here we go.
There are no questions asked.
Yeah, that's the time. I worked a lot on that portion of it. Like, okay, how did it? I can't call myself that I was a part or a member of it, but I was a little tiny person who helped a little bit in translation, assisting and coordinating the meetings to legislate the first Afghan money laundering law. And also we did come a little improvement on counter narcotics law as well.
What kind of people were laundering money?
It comes on a lot of people on it. So, as you know, that we're all those third world countries, they have always problem with the immigration. So everybody wants to migrate to another country, or They smuggle them at another country. So those are the people. At first, the Sarai Shahzada was like a money exchange market of Kabul.
Yep.
There, they controlled the whole country, and it still does. And they had the control of everything. If you want to pay for a suicide bomber, you gotta go there. That's a transaction happens. You wanna go to U.S., you gotta go pay your money. Then what's that? So your money is guaranteed over there.
Is it-
When you touch down, that's the time they release.
Would you
them.
say it's like the Afghan, like Wall Street?
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like a little like a third class, but
Yeah,
less.
of course.
But the
anything and
others,
everything
like the
happens there.
launders, was like I remember I worked several cases. A very good example. So we have money. The money came in very clean. How we got the money in Afghanistan? We get sugar from Venezuela, but through the so many other countries to Afghanistan. That's how they say it instead. برو بچه میگه از ونزوئلا بوره بخر که ارزان هست اینجا. I remember like high political or high officials, they told me like this is a good spot. They buy sugar. Or we had a lot of Japanese cars in Afghanistan. Very popular Corolla. Every single person had it.
Word.
So you get a Corolla, but in the meantime you can buy the Corolla or parts of Corolla. You import it to Kabul, Afghanistan. They sell it. The proceed of that money, it goes back to them. Then they buy, they process, and they sell it. How we get the money in Afghanistan? Through the products. Because Afghanistan had, the higher thing was importing. Import every single thing. We had nothing. Barely some fruits and dry fruits we used to export. Saffron came in later on, but prior to that, nothing much. So for them was a perfect market. Who was funding, going back to your question, how they do it, about the money laundering, and who were the people who were doing that. For example, the drug dealers were hiring insurgents. Insurgents, you can call it anyone, or Taliban. Then they used to protect that land. And the drug lords were just processing poppy, have the poppy process, and they sell it. Then go through Iran, Pakistan, but most like Iran and Turkey. So like Turkish country, I think Turkey, Iran, and also Pakistan. But on the other hand, we had Uzbekistan and Tajikistan.
Mm-hmm.
There was a high volume. We're going to those countries. Major problem we had, we never produced drugs, but we were forced to produce. We need the material from the other countries.
Yep.
The best acidic anhydride, or AA, which is very popular to them, it comes from Germany. It comes from Turkey. Come from Pakistan. The only thing was used from Afghanistan was the seeds of poppy, and they said, okay, make them cultivate. Okay, that's fine. You cultivate. The poppy eradication team came in and destroyed everything. No problem. But the leftovers they processed, but everything was from that people, and that's how the money came in. Launder, send it out there, buy parts, cars, food. It's like Pakistan was a big like exporter for us, and we get all the monies from there.
Yeah, we are very thankful for our neighbors.
Thank you everyone for joining us at the Majlis Podcast. We would love your support, so please like, comment, share, and subscribe.